I think it's pretty much safe to say that Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, is the best movie out of the entire prequel trilogy. This is Mike Zero here. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. Now, one of the big things that I do want to focus on is, of course, J.J. Abrams and Chris Terrio, and their approach to the final film of the sequel trilogy, that, of course, being Episode 9, that will bring a return of our characters Rey, Kylo Ren, Luke, Leia, Lando, Chewbacca, Finn, and of course Poe Dameron, all these different characters, as well as 8 new characters, which may seem very well excessive to a lot of you guys out there. But looking at everything that has been happening with Episode 9 these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film as we go through the principal photography phase and we get closer to the end of filming by February of 2019, month by month. Now, what's very exciting is that there will be connections to Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, and this all has to do with the music that will be inserted into Star Wars Episode 9. Now, apparently John Williams is in negotiations with J.J. Abrams and Chris Terrio and crew, Lucasfilm, Disney, to do some remixes of some tracks from Revenge of the Sith to be imported into Star Wars Episode 9. And this is raising a lot of questions on whether or not one or maybe even multiple characters in Episode 9 are affiliated with some of the characters of the past in the prequel trilogy. For example, let's say like Anakin Skywalker or Emperor Palpatine, for examples. Now, I want to focus on the character of Rey. A lot of people have been trying to figure out her lineage in the sequel trilogy, her real identity, where she comes from. And I wholeheartedly believe that her parents are actually going to be very special in the final installment of this trilogy. I'm right on board with John Williams. Even he himself said in a podcast that he doesn't buy it. He doesn't believe that her parents are nobody. He's just not buying that story. So, looking at Episode 9 and all, the fact that they will be incorporating, apparently, a lot of Revenge of the Sith track remixes in Episode 9 in order to fit some of the stories for some of our characters, which I think will all have to do with Kylo Ren and Rey. Now, of course, it could have something to do that has nothing to do with their bloodline, but maybe a moment in time. Could you imagine if we go back to Mustafar, all the way back to Mustafar, we see Darth Vader's castle, and let's say that this big lightsaber duel that we are getting, and we do know it's coming, let's say if it's based on Mustafar, and it does mirror that of Anakin and Obi-Wan dueling it out on that planet, as we saw in Revenge of the Sith. What if John Williams is able to do a remix of all the music that was used throughout that sequence and kind of add in the new as well in order to really make it feel nostalgic and almost like a direct mirror of the Obi-Wan versus Anakin Skywalker lightsaber duel scene. So here's the thing, when we look at the characters of Rey and Kylo, you can most definitely see these little mirrors, these little parallels, I should say, to that of both Obi-Wan and Anakin. Honestly, I think it would have been the better choice to make Rey a Skywalker, because then at that point, it really would be very much similar to what we received in Revenge of the Sith, where you do have, a member of each bloodline going up against each other. And I think it would even be more prime if they actually did an example for Rey where she's, let's say, for example, a descendant of Kenobi. If she's a descendant of the Kenobi bloodline, it would technically be Obi-Wan Kenobi going up against yet another Skywalker once again. That to me would be the best way to go. I think that's the ultimate way to do it, is to make Rey a Kenobi. I think that's the more realistic route than her being a Skywalker. Not only does it make more sense poetically, alright, if you look at everything here in Revenge of the Sith, I honestly think it's more poetic in order to have her as a Kenobi going up against Ben Solo, who is technically a Skywalker. So the fact that John Williams, he's in talks with J.J. Abrams and Chris Terrio, who are the writers of the movie, that he will be doing some remixes of certain songs, certain tracks, if you will, in Revenge of the Sith that will be in Episode 9. To me, that is very, very, very happy. I'm very happy to hear something like that. To me, that's very exciting to hear. And I think that a lot of fans just want more connections to both the prequels and the originals in a more, in a more poetic way, I guess you could say, right? That'll make it feel all tied together, and that's what J.J. Abrams plans on doing for the final installment of this trilogy. But I would love to hear your input below in the comments section. Let me know what you think about all of this in there, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.